Seattle is taking on Tampa Bay. It's the Mariners and the Rays, and the Rays are a $1.22 favorite at the juice box there at Tropicana Field. If you like Seattle, you're getting plus 112 on the buyback there. A very low total at only 7 in this game, slightly shaded to the over in this one. You got Logan Gilbert going for Seattle. You got Matt Weisler going for Tampa Bay. Base winner, start us off here and tell us who you like and why.
Well, I'm gonna go with Seattle here, and it's a play kind of on Logan Gilbert. I have him 46th out of 150 pitchers in baseball. I have him with a run suppression number of 13%. But what's surprising is the Mariners offense, and if you look, and we talked about this last week, and I'm high on the Mariners offense, and Jeff's not so much, and they've really performed well year to date. If you look at their weighted runs created plus, they're actually number one in baseball. So that's pretty surprising. I don't think a lot of people would have thought that after I guess 16 games. We're almost a tenth of the way here through the season that the Mariners would be number one in baseball with a 127 weighted runs created plus. But Gilbert, I kind of missed with him last year. I kind of missed his breakout. I played against him a lot last year. But I've kind of switched sides, and I'm going to back the Mariners. I've got it priced at minus 116. So I think if you're getting plus 100, it's a good play. And the other thing, I think that the Tampa Bay bullpen's really good, but the way this shapes up for Gilbert and Seattle, I kind of have them about equal in this game from a run suppression standpoint. And one more thing, Stuff Plus, Logan Gilbert has a 25% advantage over Whistler in Stuff Plus. So for all those reasons, I'm gonna roll with Seattle here.
This is kind of a tricky game for me. Gilbert definitely has been Seattle's best pitcher so far this year. He's gone back-to-back games without giving up an earned run. But then I go back and I look at what he has done against Tampa Bay going back last year, and he gave up 7 earned runs in 2 starts last year. And so that's a little concerning for me. And again, I do like the Seattle Bats, like you've talked about, Mark, before. Tampa Bay is one of those teams that they should be better than they are right now. But Gilbert is. I'm not as high on him as you are, but the recent numbers, if we go by what he's done so far this year, it's looking pretty good. But every time I look at a pitcher against what he's done against the opponent, I take that in consideration. So I couldn't have any action on this game, but we'll definitely root you on with that. Eric, give us some thoughts on this game.
I'm the same way with Gilbert. I'm not sold 100% yet. He's got a much higher ERA on the road too. So Fleming's going to be coming in after Weisler, so he's been great coming in as that second guy. I don't love the 3.5s on the first fives usually, but unders wise, I mean. But I'm going to go ahead and do that I'm going to go first 5 under 3.5 minus 105. I think we see a good outing from Gilbert at least early, maybe a 2-1 type of situation. And like I said, Fleming coming off the bench is exponentially better than when he starts, and I think we're getting him right after Weiser.
Yeah, and I like where you're going with this, Mark, because I am not a fan of Kevin Cash and the opener, and that's what we're getting today with Weisler. We're getting the opener, which just makes me sick. I cannot handicap a team. I will not bet on a team that goes with the opener because you're immediately in the bullpen. I don't, and it's funny, you're the analytical guy, Mark. I'm very curious because we've never really talked about this before, about the theory and the analytical gurus that enjoy, starting your game out with a bullpen guy.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to it, actually. I think that the studies have shown that the less or the more the batter faces the pitcher, the less likely they are to have productive offensive performance. So that's why they don't want these guys to go 3 times through the lineup, because it's just, I mean, it bears out in the numbers. So it makes sense from a number standpoint. I tell you what, it's a real bitch to handicap, and you have to have separate bullpen numbers. So like you have to have a bullpen day for Tampa Bay. Kind of the way I handicap this is I kind of group Whistler and Fleming together and come up with like a combo number for these guys. But yeah, it makes sense from a number standpoint. That's why these teams are doing it, and that's why like a team like Tampa Bay, which doesn't have the same type of payroll as the Yankees, they almost are forced to do it, and it's smart. It's really smart. But again, it's it's just one step. And so I agree with you, TC, that when you see it, it's like, I don't want to handicap this, because it really, you have to like break it down onto a different level. And so, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, like what I do is I put the whole card out. And so like I had to come up with a method to do this. And I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago where I was like, okay, I got bullpen day. I've got like a Whistler Fleming number. And so that's kind of how you do it, but you got to really be on your toes. And I'm really lucky. I want to give a shout out to my good friend Guido, who's been working for us for years. He does all the lineup adjustments, the defaults, the starting pitchers, and so that's one less step that I have to take. And it really is kind of a good thing that we have separation, so he's able to do that. So thanks, Guido. I really appreciate it. So I hope that answered your question, TC.
Absolutely, and shout out to Guido as well too. Anytime I hear Guido, I'm thinking that there's a pizzeria around the corner or something like that.
He's a good guy. Like he came to us about 10 years ago because like I put the card out overnight, and so invariably there's going to be a pitching change, right? And so like we weren't as like on top of it as he wanted us to be. So he's like, hey, can I do the lineups and the pitching for you? I'm like, yeah, have at it. That sounds great.
I'm sure Eric probably knows a Guido around the corner, a little hustler somewhere around there too, right?
Made my bacon, egg, and cheese this morning. Another thing on the Rays, man. Like I lived in Tampa for years. I went to grad school there. There's something about that Trop, man. It lulls you to sleep. It's like nobody wants to be there. You hit the pool, little quesadilla by the pool pregame. Before you know it, you're 0 for 3, and it's the 7th inning. You know what I mean? That place is. I still can't believe they play there. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's my parents live down there. It's nowhere near anything. It's really bad. But yeah, so that I like those unders early when the teams first get there too.
All right, let's lock BaseWinner in. He's going to take a shot with the dog here, the Seattle Mariners, and Logan Gilbert at plus 112. And Eric's going to go first 5 under 3.5 here.